Hello and welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow's Season 11. I'm Sunanda Jayaseelan. All of this month, we're putting the spotlight on some of India's leading female entrepreneurs, leaders and business icons as we celebrate Women's Day on the 8th of March. The spotlight all of this month is to bring you the stories of India's leading female entrepreneurs and business leaders. Two such entrepreneurs in focus tonight, talking about how they've really changed their businesses, changed their companies and led their teams and their companies to greater heights. First and foremost, someone who's joined us here previously on the show, back with us tonight live, Meghana Narayan of Slurrp Farm. We're also in conversation with Monica Malhotra of MBD Group. Joining us live on the show tonight is Meghana Narayan of Wholsum Foods, better known as the creator and the creative mind and the mom behind Slurrp Farm. Meghana, good having you here on the show. Meghana, I want to start by talking about the fact that the UN, of course, has declared 2023 as the International Year of Millets. We heard from the finance minister as well on this. But you decided to focus your range of products around these indigenous healthy options. Way before it was cool, if I can call it that. What prompted you to take this decision? Did you feel that this was a sound business idea? And why did you feel it was that, at a time when no one's really talking about it?
So, we started Slurrp Farm now almost 7 years ago. And, Shoravi back in 2017 had co-authored a white paper to bring millets back to the center of the plate. And one of the recommendations was, to do this whole, to push towards International Year of Millets. She, me and many others, the Indian Institute of Millet Research included, have been pushing to make this happen. So for us, 2023 is really like, that year we've all been waiting for. As you pointed out, millets have been a staple in the Indian sort of grain pantheon for tens of thousands of years. It is just the last 50 to 60 years that they've sort of, wheat and rice have sort of, taken that place in the center of the plate. And all we're asking is to bring that diversity back, right? Because with grain diversity is where the magic of soil diversity, nutritional security, so on and so forth will really play for the country. At Slurrp Farm, for us, this is very exciting because it is like I said, right? It's our year of to make millets, go into every home. People will hear about it from everybody, from the prime minister to the finance ministers talking about it, and just that awareness is really going to help bring millets back in a big way.
You've taken children's food and put a very healthy, fun spin on it. And what has that process really been like? I'm curious to understand.
So, from where we sit, right, the intention for Slurrp Farm is to be India's most loved kids' food brand. We don't use the word healthy in it because we know that that almost always has a connotation with not yummy. And we are super clear that everything in our stable of products is going to be very yummy, right? So yes, we make them with better grains, we keep away from maida, no refined sugar and so on, but it will also be very tasty. But frankly, I think the reason why we have seen this explosive growth of sort of 7x over the past 24 months is because COVID in some ways was that reckoner, right? People were looking to eat healthy and realize that sort of diseases like this that come our way will only come from being strong, having strong immunity, and that there's no one pill that is going to fix that. We have to all eat better every day. And we've only benefited from that trend, as have many other brands as well. So as far as we're concerned, this is just the start.
I started today's interview, Meghna, by talking about the fact that, grains like millet are really indigenous products. Now, for someone who's saying, I want to use these indigenous products, these locally available, locally sourced products like millets, for instance, and I want to take this entire Make in India brand and, take it internationally and take it to an export market, what advice do you have for them?
So, I think this is a super exciting time to be Indian building in India. It is really, this is the generation of entrepreneurs across segments and certainly in food as well, that is going to build brands not just for India but for the world. Right here, we happen to be in a moment of time where 2023 is the International Year of Millets. There's going to be a lot of noise. People are going to look, right? They're going to be searching on Amazon. They're going to be searching on various portals for products, and which include these ancient super grains. And it would be a shame that it isn't brands from India that are out there, winning in the global marketplace. So I think, there has never been a better time, and this is the year. 2013 was the year of quinoa, and the UN year of, just as 2023 is the year of millet. And, a decade later, quinoa is a common household name, right, across large parts of the world. So the opportunity is there for people who want to take it.
Meghna, any future plans that you have you want to share with us?
So, the last sort of almost 3 years, we've really pushed hard on taking Slurrp Farm to as many homes as possible, but primarily online, right? So, we will now begin, to push our offline presence as well. Slurrp Farm was always designed by 2 Indian mums for the other Indian mums like us. So, the way we make our products, the form factors, so on and so forth, are very, very much focused on the Indian family. And so we will continue to grow that. We have just launched a second brand called Millets, a super grain company, which uses a combination of millets, and protein, plant proteins like moong dal protein, so on, to really address the needs of that 24 to 45-year-old who's looking for a healthier product. We will launch in India and take to the US as well.
The series of conversations that we're doing here on the show is also following the track of Ideas for New India. That's the theme that we're following for the season 11 of the show. If you could pick the top ideas for New India, Meghna, what would those be?
So, as always, I would start with the consumer, right? What are consumers looking for? They are, and that's the way we think. People are looking for breakfast options. Meal times are a little bit more sorted out in most Indian families. The problem is that breakfast and the snack time. These are two sort of meal occasions where, things are, get really difficult and where junk enters. And people are actively trying to replace that junk with better for you options. And so I feel there's a lot more that, has to be done to really make that, to help people make that transition.
Meghna, let me perhaps ask you to give your advice for entrepreneurs who are watching today's interview as we're ending tonight's show.
I guess it's the same thing that I remind myself of every day, which is stay super close to your consumer. The consumer is changing. You have to listen very actively. So that they don't move too far away from what it is you're building. So never lose sight of that. Don't forget to have fun. This is part of your life. So build a team of people who are as passionate about your mission as you are, because at the end that's what we're all here for, right? To have a bit of fun and a few laughs along the way.
All right, Meghna. So good having you here on the show. I'm going to slip into a short break on that note. Much more on the other side, including a conversation with the entrepreneur of the MBD Group. Do stay tuned. Back in just a moment. Welcome back. You're with us here on IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow, Season 11. Joining us live on the show now is Monica Malhotra of MBD Group. Monica, thank you for joining us today and really talking to us about, the publishing business and about the MBD Group. And perhaps before we go any further and also talk to you about your own journey and your own, entrepreneurial advice you may have for our small businesses, I want to talk about the MBD Group for our viewers who may not perhaps know what the business does, what the genesis really has been like. What can you tell us?
Well, the group is more than 65 or 67 years old group, and the founder was my father, Shri Ashok Kumar Malhotra. I was lucky enough to work with him from a very early stage. I was 15 years old when I started working with him, and the journey of MBD Group, if I talk about, has been it's a very innovative journey. Why I say innovative? Because we were the first ones to bring a paradigm shift in way teaching and learning processes were consumed. And when we started with our reference books way back 67 years back. And then thereafter, when I now talk about, we were the first movers to bring all the innovative technologies into K-12 segment. We were the first ones to bring augmented reality, virtual reality to the K-12 segment in India. And with our recent launch of our blended learning and teaching solutions under the brand name Ashoka, which we launched last year, in fact, it is the fastest growing solution in the industry. We were sitting at 300 schools last year, and this year up till now we have already signed up with around 800 schools, and still we're thinking that we should be closing furthermore 700 to 800 schools under Ashoka. And this app is totally aligned to the national education policy, and we hope by 2030 we should be doing around 30,000 schools, and this will really help the children to better their learning outcomes. And the group is looking up, looking forward, and we always are abreast with new technologies, and we'll bring in more.
We're seeing a sea change when it comes to the education and the publishing space and content, really. Content is being transformed and has been transformed completely by digital. So really talk to us about that transformation from, those physical textbooks and the heavy textbooks to what has increasingly become digital and has become ed tech, really.
Well, when I talk about the transformation was a very logical transformation, because we were into book publishing and we were publishing books for all classes, all subjects, all major boards, all major languages in India. And of course, when we talking about India, wherever we map, we have offices in Africa, in Middle East. So we try and map our solutions and customize solutions not only to the country and to the board. Also, if I talk about India, that we customize our solutions to every school and every class, depending upon what's the need, what is the purchasing power, what is the level of language they require, what kind of products they require, and what is the need. Not only that, we also customize the needs to the teacher training. So whatever are the new technologies which can be introduced to the K-12 segment, MBD has been in the forefront. And with our new app, which I just spoke about, Ashoka, we looking at to bring in the desired learning outcomes which the NEP has laid down. And for us, the shift was logical. We past many years been into the digital space, and we are equally strong whether it is digital content or physical content. And we were working with private schools and government schools all along. So we have the with the desired database to do our further research also and bring in newer products.
Talk to us a bit about your international presence, Monica.
I think 2012, we opened a company in Africa, in South Africa. And very gladly and proudly I want to share that we are the only Indian origin publishers having presence in the national catalogue of South Africa. And we have made furthermore solutions also aligned to different countries, whether we have gone to Sri Lanka, whether we have gone to Middle East or Africa and other countries in Africa, not only South Africa, other places and other regions, in Zimbabwe, and other Kenya, and Nigeria, wherever. So we have customized our products to the need of the curriculum and the need of the students, and looking at their purchasing power. And we are not only in the physical book section, we also do digital products for them. So our key strength is customization. So that really helps us to grow in different regions.
We've been talking about how digital has really transformed and changed the education space and the publishing space and the content space really. I want to talk about NEP 2020 and how that's really changed and is continuing to change really our approach to education here in India and the impact that you've seen on your industry.
We've been using our content and making our content in such a way which is more activity based, more inclusive. And every year, every publisher, I suppose, but we definitely so try that we should curate our content in such a way that the learning and teaching becomes more interesting, more they consume on a different level. With the NEP coming in, the content changes quite a bit. In fact, they have laid emphasis on the 21st century skills, all the skills which the NEP is talking about. Our books are mapped according to all the expectations. Even the digital content is mapped to the expectations of the NEP. The learning outcomes are really harped about, and this has been our key focus and will be our key focus also for the more products which we're going to develop. So year on year we keep on working on different products, and I'm happy to share that whatever products NEP is expecting us to do, we have done justice to that.
I would like to end today's conversation by talking about and asking you really, Monica, for your advice for our young female leaders about perhaps breaking the glass ceiling in their own industries based on your experience. What do you want to leave us with? Well,
if I say women entrepreneurs, if they have that mindset that I have to prove myself better than a man, so I think that they should leave that idea aside. They have to prove each day they are improving themselves from what they were yesterday. You don't have to be above them or below them, you have to improve yourself each day. I think that's the key, because if you focus on pegging yourself to someone, I think that's a very myopic way of looking at your journey. You should look at how you're bettering yourself. You have your own strengths and weaknesses. Everybody has their own. So you work on your own strengths and improve on your weaknesses. Do not lay emphasis on what people think about you. Lay emphasis on what you have to think about yourself. Ultimately, you have to look yourself into the mirror and ask yourself whether you have reached there, whether you matter to yourself or not. If that matters to you, I think nothing else matters to you. So I think just focus on your own journey and nothing else.
All right, Monica, good speaking with you here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. That's all for tonight's show. If you have any feedback for us, do let us know. Our details on your screens as we speak. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.